We made strides. First practice on Wednesday was a good one, good energy, a little ragged. Today was more smooth, but a lot of things to correct and improve upon. Those questions.
What are some of those things that have maybe looked more smooth today that one time?
Well, I think we were able to get lined up in some of the formations a little bit better. Guys are hearing it in the huddle for the second time rather than the first. And the huddle mechanics, I thought the motions were crisper rather than feeling our way, maybe dipping our toe in the water like we did on Wednesday. We went full in with a can opener or a cannonball today, which was much better.
Safel talked about on Wednesday how he's doing things that he hasn't done before, like, pulling and stuff as the center. How do you think that the guys have taken to the new blocking schemes and some of the new things that you're going to be asking them to do?
They've been working hard at it in the meeting room, I know that. So today was our second time to put those techniques on the field, and we've got some real athletic linemen, Mike being one of them, so we want to take advantage of their strong traits.
How have the QBs and skill position guys adapted to the little tweaks you've brought to the game?
Well, I think pretty well. I want to be a good teacher. I want to make sure that it's easy for them. I don't want to slow them down and make them thinking out there. I want them to cut loose and play. So I've got to do a good job of teaching the plays in the meetings and then scripting them so guys feel confident in what they're doing.
How similar is this offense be to what you ran in the NFL, and how much do you have to simplify for college?
It's going to be very similar. The language is going to be the same that we used in Oakland and also Denver, Minnesota, Atlanta. So that's a language that I feel very comfortable in teaching. I feel like I can convey that in a clear message, and once again, we can play fast when we get on the field. So far, we're going full steam ahead. These guys are sharp, so we're not having to cut back on any volume.
How much does it also help to have an experienced group of running backs back? I mean, Chris Brown, Marcel Dancy, all those guys.
Terrific group of runners. Terrific group. We've got 2 freshmen coming in this summer, but the guys out here for spring really been impressive these first 2 days. Joy to work with.
Yeah, as if ran some 21 personnel sets. What went into the decision to kind of bring back the fullback position?
Well, we want to be difficult to defend, and at times when you have a fullback on the field, you can be more difficult to defend than if you have 3 or 4 wides. We have that too, and we enjoy that. But I think the defense feels the impact of a fullback out there, both in formationally and then also when you execute a play. So we've got Zach, our linebacker. He's an aspiring fullback in training, so he's doing some good things out there thus far, just in 2 days. Kind of a small sample size, but it's been very promising.
Yeah, what went into him moving there?
Well, I think he wanted to get on the field. I think he's done a super job, from what I understand, with the scout teams the last 2 years. But he wants to be on the field, and so he volunteered, and we accepted him with open arms.
How much will the fullback actually be involved? Is it just another blocker, or will he be a receiver?
Well, I think he's got to be a blocker. He's got to do the dirty work. We're looking for a hammerhead in there, but we realize we've also got to pay his fee at times also by maybe handing him a belly or a trap or a dive, and then occasionally throwing the ball out there to him in the flat so he can touch it every once in a while. Pay his fee. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Feel free, otherwise we'll take questions.
Appreciate you guys coming out. Second day of spring practice, been a lot of fun for the Bears. Runners running hard. Tomorrow we get pads on. We'll see what we can do there.
So many years at Cal Poly. Is the pace a lot faster here, or is it kind of the same?
I think the pace is relative as far as the tempo with the practice, but the bodies that you have moving around are moving at a higher clip. These guys are moving around. You got big bodies like Chris Brown moving around fast, Marcel Dancy moving around fast. We got a guy moving over from linebacker, Zach Angellilo, having him over there. He's moving fast, so it's moving at a little higher clip overall. A place like Cal Poly, you may have a few guys that are moving at that pace, but when you get here, you got a lot of big bodies moving around pretty fast too.
I recall a guy you coached not that long ago, Joe Proffero. When you look at Chris Brown, is he kind of similar or maybe a different runner?
A little different runner. Joe is a little shorter than Chris. Joe is probably just scratching 6 foot. A little thicker with that thing. Chris may have another gear than Joe had. Joe was tough as nails. Loved that kid. He gave me his heart and soul every single day. So hopefully I can get these guys to play the same way.
Has there been any specific emphasis in getting guys more downhill quicker in these first couple of practices, or?
My whole intention in coaching running backs is to get them to attack defenders. We're not going to be guys who are running out of bounds. I'll say that right now. I'll say it for anybody. We're going to play behind our pass. That's what we do. We attack defenders. We're not putting those guys, coming after us. We're going after them. So that's our intent. We're talking about those guys finishing and getting behind their pass. When we get to the film this afternoon, that's what they're going to hear. Hey, finish that run. Coach, rolling helmets. I don't care. Play behind your pass. Get north and south. Let's go.
Is it a sigh of relief to have a guy like Zach move over from defense and play fullback and be the lead guy for your running backs?
It's always fun when you get guys who want to come over to the good side of life. They're sitting on the dark side for so many years, walking around with a cloud above their head. They come over and they see the light. It's an aha moment. So, yeah, it's a breath of fresh air, but mostly breath of fresh air for Zach.
How the running backs taken to some of the new blocking schemes, then different guys pull in and leading the way. Has there been a bit of a change and maybe a learning curve for them?
I think anytime you step into spring, you want it to be a learning curve. You want to teach guys as it is day one, regardless if they've been here 4 years, if it's their 5th year, no matter what it is. So you want them to kind of reset. That was something that I heard Jerry Rice say years ago, that he wanted his coaches to teach him like it was his first day in the room. So we expect that, and we can get to talking about nuances of the different plays as we grow. But we want these guys to start from day one fresh, regardless of how long they've been here.
So, as AT says, how does it feel to be on the good side of life?
It feels great. I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Coach AT, Coach Musgrave, all the running backs, they've embraced me with open arms. Coach AT and Coach Musgrave have been great teachers. Just excited to help the team.
Remind me again, were you always defense, or did you play a little bit offense before?
In junior high and high school, I played a little bit of offense, but mostly inside linebacker.
How did the change come about?
Essentially how it worked was I had kind of been thinking about it for a while. I think some of the other coaches had touched on it. I wasn't seeing the field. Just wanted to help the team and put myself in a position to contribute. The first week we were back in January, I went into Coach Sermon's office, told him, hey, Coach, I really want to get on the field. I want to contribute. I want to help us win football games. How can I do that? And I kind of, asked. I was like, what do you think about me playing fullback? And you can ask him a little bit more about it, but he kind of mentioned, they had already talked about it a little bit, had it, the thought. So I'm really grateful that they've, let me have this opportunity. I'm going to try to run with it and do everything I can.
How has the learning curve been for you at the position?
Coach AT and Coach Musgrave have been awesome with just kind of, making sure I'm understanding all the nuances and the overall scheme. I would say that it's definitely been a little bit challenging, but I don't feel the pressure on me. I feel the urgency in me to learn it and be able to contribute.
Are there certain things you can take from playing inside linebacker just in moving over to fullback, like attack this point?
Physicality for sure. Coach Sermon did an amazing job teaching for the 2 seasons I was with him. I've told my dad multiple times, I think I learned more about the game of football overall in those 2 seasons with Coach Sermon than I did my whole life. So as far as just understanding the scheme and understanding my role, Coach has been awesome helping me out.
Which fullbacks have you watched on your downtime just to kind of prepare for this role?
I love Juszczyk. He was really fun to watch this past season, and especially him catching that pass in the Super Bowl for the touchdown. That was exciting. I had already had the idea. I was like, man, I think I might be best for me to move to fullback. And when I saw that, I was like, that'd be pretty fun. So, yeah.
I mean, the offense isn't entirely installed. Do you envision your role being similar to that?
I think that's more of a question for Coach Musgrave, but I would say that whatever they want me to do, I'll do my best to execute my role. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
First one was 2020.
New offense. It's only day 2, but how do you feel?
I feel good. I like the offense a lot. I think everyone else in the offensive side of the ball likes the offense a lot too. It's fun to run. We weren't up to par with our execution today, coming off day 1, but it's the second day running the offense, on the field live. So we're to watch film tonight, come out here tomorrow, and hopefully execute better.
In your football career, have you ever really been under center for half the snaps?
No, high school I was all shotgun. And then, we were under center probably like 15-20% with Coach Baldwin. We primarily run plays and play action, but it's a little different taking a 5 or 7 step drop from under center. I haven't done it since really like youth football training or something like that.
You do have your high school center snapping you the ball in those drills too.
Yeah, we got Arwen snapping the balls. A little throwback right there to the Corona Del Mar days.
Judging from what we've seen, just when you guys practice offense, seems a little bit more excited and a little more energized. Are we reading that correctly from your perspective?
Yeah, I think the coaches we bring in with Coach Musgrave and Coach McClure on the offensive line. I mean, they both bring a lot of energy to this team, especially Coach McClure, and I think it really vibes off the other guys on the team, and you can really see it in practice.
And Mike was.
Personality-wise, style-wise, it seems like Musgrave is a lot different from you. It seems like a lower key guy. Or am I wrong?
I think they're kind of similar personality-wise. I think coaching style, Coach Musgrave's a little more hands-on with the quarterbacks. I mean, you see him out there with the baseball glove catching balls, which is the first I've ever seen that happen. But it's cool to have. It's cool to have Coach Musgraves with us.
What's the best part of the offense that you've seen so far?
I don't really have a best part yet. I think, looking at it, what we've installed so far, I mean, I like all aspects of it. I think the run game's really good. I think the pass concepts are really good. Heavy play action really gets teams, especially when you're under center. I mean, you run the ball downhill so hard and aggressively. There's going to be those shots downfield to take, and you just got to execute.
Has it been difficult so far to get it?
Honestly, no. I think if you would have asked me that 2 years ago as a freshman, I would have said yes. But being in a college system already, for 3 years, and it's going to be my 4th season, it's quite easy to grasp and understand, even though it's a whole new terminology.
Do you feel like some of that, you guys ran a bit more of the heavy play action at the end of last year? Do you feel like some of that's carried over to
Yeah, I do. Coach Musgrave brings an NFL playbook, here to Berkeley. So obviously the NFL, there's a lot of play action. You got to be in the run game to set that up. So I think a lot of it's going to carry over.
Have you watched a lot of that, 2016 Raiders, Broncos from a
We've
couple
watched a
years
ton
ago?
of film. We've watched the Raiders with Derek Carr, Broncos with Case Keenum, even all the way back to the Vikings with Christian Ponder was the quarterback. So we've watched quite a few years. Statistically, at the Raiders, Derek Carr had a great year, and they did as well, with all those wins, and it's good to see.
Mike was talking about on Wednesday how he's doing things that he's never done before, like pull in as the center. Like, are there moments for you when you hand off and you look ahead and you see your center like running out there to the second level and just some?
I think it's a different sight seeing Mike Spell 20 yards downfield trying to block a corner, but he's an athletic guy, so I think he's got it in him.